Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 6 of the Business English Idiom Challenge. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late in starting here, but here we are. We're going to dive straight in to talking about some more idioms related to teamwork. And teamwork idioms are connected to alignment. We're going to discuss what that means to be in alignment, but that's a big piece of working in teams is being in alignment. Tell me in the comment section if you are watching on the replay or if you join us for the live. Are you new to the challenge? Are you here for the first time? In which case, tell me, or have you been following along day by day? I know that quite a few people have, and I thank you for turning up, whether you are a daily challenger or whether you are brand new to jumping into it now. And don't feel that you have to start from day one. It's just a way of organizing the idioms, really. You could start anywhere. Don't feel that you have to do things perfectly. Done is better than perfect. So just jump in and start wherever you happen to find this material. Don't feel that you have to go back to day one. But tell me in the comment section, are you new to the challenge or have you been following along? We are looking at idioms, which are expressions that you have to learn the literal meaning of. And I really want to stress, as always, that these are important in business in a professional context because they're used frequently by native speakers in speaking, but not in written form in business English. Tarek, hello, welcome. Tarek says, I'm happy to hear you're speaking. It's my first time. Welcome, Tarek. Glad to have you here. Thank you for showing up. And welcome to all of you watching on the replay as well. I'm so glad that you're here. So yes, I'm going to move on quickly, but I just want to really reiterate, as in go over, the fact that idioms are important because native speakers use them, but pay attention to the way in which native speakers use them. In a moment, I'm going to show you the idioms in context, and we're going to use all of them all at once. That is not how a native speaker would use them. Native speakers use them sparingly, a little bit at a time. So I'm showing you a lot of idioms, but just beware that these are for spoken English and you wouldn't use them all at the same time. So be wary of that. Okay, join in as we go through these. Post your practice sentences as we go along, or if you're able to, go back and look at the sentence stems, the examples, and think about it and post it later if they are applicable. Some of them are maybe a little bit too personal. I totally get that. But my point is, join in, give it a go practicing with these idioms. Oh, goodness, I hate when I spot errors. I can see an error there. Day 3 introduction. No, it's day 6, but never mind. It doesn't matter. These are the idioms that we are looking at. We are going to talk about to see eye to eye, to be on the same page, to pitch in, to do one's bit, to pull one's weight, to play ball with someone or something. And there'll be a really short 2-question quiz at the end. I really want you to think about, do you know the idiom? Can you figure it out from the context perhaps? And have you heard the idiom before? If this is an idiom that you have heard before, that is a really good indication that you should focus on learning and using that idiom. Pay attention to the idioms that you hear again and again in real life when you are using your English. Those are the ones that you should focus on. I'm going to read this extract that shows you the idioms in context. If it doesn't quite make sense, it's okay. We'll go through the idioms and then we'll read it again and talk about what it means at the end. Okay? So here we go. At first, it seemed the hackers. A hacker is someone that breaks into a online internet system in order to steal something or do something bad. Okay, at first, it seemed the hackers had accessed things such as client credit card information. Initially, the IT team and management didn't see eye to eye on what to do about the cybersecurity breach. Soon, though, they managed to get on the same page and formed a unified response plan. Okay, so there's been a crisis where hackers have entered the company's IT systems and everyone's worried about it. Paragraph 2. All employees pitched in to support the IT team, each person eager to do their bit to help during the crisis. While IT experts worked hard, other team members also pulled their weight by communicating with clients and maintaining business operations smoothly. The IT team discovered the breach. Okay, a breach is when something has been broken, crossed, a boundary has been crossed. So if it's a security breach, that means they have broken the security systems and they've broken into the company's computers. The IT team discovered the breach hadn't been as bad as they'd initially thought. However, they installed many new security systems as a precaution. At first, they couldn't get the new systems to play ball with the old ones, but eventually they figured it out and calm was restored. Okay, there you have all the idioms all at once. And like I said, don't worry if this didn't quite make sense. We will come back to this at the end, and hopefully you will feel a big difference as to your understanding of it. We're going to start going through the idioms one by one. We're going to start with the idiom to see eye to eye and have a think about what you think it means as you listen to the example sentences. So, John nearly stormed out of the meeting room when they both got frustrated and could not see eye to eye about the project. To storm out of somewhere means that you become filled with the emotion of anger to the point where you cannot function and you say, that's it, I've had it. And you leave in an angry way. So if someone storms out, they leave because they're so angry. So John was so angry because he couldn't see eye to eye with this other person and he left in anger. He stormed out. Okay, second example. Any questions or concerns? I'd like to hear from everyone. It's important we see eye to eye on this. So if you see eye to eye, it means you agree or you have the same opinion as someone else. So we can talk about to agree, concur, be in accord, or be in alignment. There's a phrase that's often used in professional contexts, in business settings. We talk about different departments being in alignment. It means thinking about the same things in the same way, agreeing, having the same opinion and values, and getting on well. So if someone is in alignment with someone else, they are seeing eye to eye. This is really about having a deep agreement on beliefs, values, opinions, seeing things like equally, seeing eye to eye. So we can see eye to eye with someone or on a subject or about something. Okay, over to you. What is a good way to help people see eye to eye when working on a project? Have a think about that. And tell me in the comments. I would love to know. Okay, we're going to talk about to be on the same page. Here's some examples. So we are working to a deadline. That means this product will be launched before Christmas. Are we all on the same page about that? Second example. How did we succeed? Well, I think we got all employees on the same page that we'd need to make big changes. So to be on the same page, when you feel into those examples, it really seems like it's very similar to see eye to eye, and indeed it is. It is the same thing that it means to be in agreement, to be aligned, to be in accord, to see eye to eye on a goal or project, but not necessarily at a deep values and opinions level, just at a level of deciding to work together well in an agreed way. So I'm going to give you an example of that. When I go camping with my husband, my family, my husband and I, we don't see eye to eye about how to pitch the tent and break it down. Pitch a tent means put it up, break it down means put the tent away. We don't see eye to eye because I'm very much a person who is focused on getting it done. Done is better than perfect. I just want it done. What's the quickest, most efficient way to do it? And I don't really care about rolling it perfectly, organizing it in exactly the perfect way. He's much better at that. So he doesn't care how long it takes because he wants it to be really organized. Whereas I would just prefer that it is just done quickly. So we don't agree on the best way to do it, but we do agree that we want to do it in a way that hopefully is without argument. So we are on the same page that we don't want to argue. So overall, in this task that we have to do, which is not enjoyable, I don't enjoy putting the tent up and taking it down, and we don't, get on about how to do it, but we are on the same page that we're on holiday and we want to relax and we want to have fun, and so we want to do it in a way that we don't argue. So we're on the same page that we want to get it done, and both of us still feel happy after, but we don't see eye to eye about how to do that. So we have to kind of have our disagreements and work it out. And so that's an example of how when you are seeing eye to eye, you agree on a profound level. When you are on the same page, you are more focused on a goal and maybe compromising perhaps. But overall, it's the same thing. To see eye to eye, to be on the same page, is to be in agreement. So if you are on the same page, you can talk about to be on the same page with someone. Like I am on the same page with my husband that we want to get the tent up and have fun and not argue. And maybe we both need to compromise. So you can be on the same page with someone or about something or on something. Okay, over to you. What are some ways you can check if you are on the same page as someone? Have a think about that. One way to check if you're both on the same page is to ask what their goals are, for example. But what would be another? Like if you said, okay, how are you doing? What do you think about this? What are some ways, other than talking to someone about their goals, that you could check if someone is on the same page as you? Okay, we're going to move on to pitch in. Can you down tools and come to the reception? Everyone needs to pitch in to get the office ready for the event. Okay, quickly, let's talk about down tools. A tool is something that helps you get the job done. Like a pencil is a tool for writing. If you down tools, that's a really very informal way of saying you put down your work. You stop work for a moment. So that would be very informal, perhaps between friends at work. A more formal way would be to say, oh, could I please interrupt your work for a moment? Or would you be able to stop the task that you're doing, please? That would be a more formal way. But if it was a very informal setting, you might say, can you down tools and come to the reception? Everyone needs to pitch in to get the office ready for the event. Okay, second example. We had hundreds of volunteers pitch in at the litter picking event, and it was a huge success. We picked up a ton of rubbish. Okay, in those two examples, I've kind of combined US English and American and British English. So down tools is a little bit more North American, and then litter and rubbish are British English. So I'll just point that out. We would talk about in the UK litter, the US we would say garbage. So it's just slightly different. Okay, but what does pitch in mean? Well, it means to contribute or help with a task or a project. So to help out, to assist, to shoulder the load. If you were here on our previous days when we talked about shoulder the load. So you can talk about to pitch in with, on, or for. It means to help do a task that everyone is working on. Okay, describe a time everyone pitched in together in a positive way. Have a think about that. And go ahead and put it in the comments. If you can give an example sentence with pitch in, that would be amazing. So describe a time everyone pitched in together in a positive way. A time a large group all pitched in was when? What do you think? And there are some typing errors on there. Goodness, I'm got a few typos today. It's so frustrating. I will go and correct them before I put this slide into the free course that goes with this. You have access to these slides and to the exercises, and I will double check my typos before I put it in. But anyway, moving on, we're going to focus on do one's bit. Okay, 2 examples. I know it's a lot of work, but if everyone does their bit, we will be able to manage it. She's always willing to do her bit for the team. So do one's bit. It means to do one's share of a task or to contribute. So very similar to pitch in. To pitch in means to help. To do one's bit means to do what you are responsible for, to do your job, your part. So contribute, take part, play a part. So you can do one's bit for or with or in. Very similar to pitch in. Okay, here's a question. Have you ever felt like someone was trying to get away with not doing their bit? Okay, let's talk about that. Trying to get away with. There's a useful phrase. It means trying to avoid responsibility. So, why did you do the dishes in a rush? There's still bits of food all over the dishes. Are you trying to get away with not being asked to do it? So are you trying to avoid being asked to do it? So trying to get away with, are you trying to avoid the responsibility? So the question's asking you, have you ever felt like someone was trying to avoid the responsibility of doing their bit, doing their work? There's a good phrase there, trying to get away with. Okay, so what do you think? When have you had that experience where someone has been trying to get away with not doing their bit? Would love to know in the comments. Or if you want to try using that idiom to do your bit or do one's bit, give it a go. I will come back and answer all of the comments, and it's such a delight to do so. Okay, we've had pitch in, we've had do one's bit, and now we have one that is extremely similar to pull one's weight. So here's some examples. Everyone on the team needs to pull their weight for the project to succeed. So we could interchange it with everyone needs to pitch in for the project to succeed, or everyone needs to do their bit for the project to succeed. It's very similar. This one, if he doesn't start pulling his weight, we might have to find someone else for the job. That is a really common one in the context of, oh, if they don't pull their weight, then this will be the consequence. So talking about it negatively. Okay, so to pull one's weight, it means to do one's fair share of the work, to do your bit, to contribute, to pitch in, to carry the load, all of those. Here's a question for you. How can teams ensure everyone is pulling their weight effectively? What needs to happen to make sure that everyone is pulling their weight? Okay, here's a completely different one because we had 3 that were very the same. To pitch in, to do your bit, and to pull your weight all mean to contribute. So very, very similar. This one is different. To play ball with someone. Okay, some examples. We can't decide on terms if they won't meet with us. If we want this deal to go through, we need the other party to play ball. She's very flexible and always willing to play ball with the team's plans. Okay, so what do you think that means, to play ball with someone? Well, it means to cooperate or agree to work with someone or follow a plan, to work nicely with someone. So if someone is playing ball, they are engaging in the process of getting along. So cooperating, collaborating, agreeing. So this is often used in the context of, this other person or business or thing is not playing ball. We often use it in the negative way. In that first example, we can't get the contract signed if they're not going to meet with us and play ball. Like they're not cooperating. So we often use it in the negative to say someone is not cooperating. They are not playing ball. And we can say play ball with or on or for. They won't even meet with me. They are not playing ball with us. Okay. Another example that's negative as well is to play hardball. And that just means to not cooperate with someone. So I went to speak to her about the figures, and she was playing hardball and refused to speak to me. So just not cooperating. Okay, describe a time when technology didn't want to play ball. Oh my goodness, I have had this so many times in my professional life, in my personal life. Smart boards, they're amazing pieces of technology. But if anything touches a smart board at the bottom and the edges, the whole smart board will stop working. So many times I cannot figure out why my computer's not projecting properly on this smart board. And then eventually I figure out, oh, it's because something is touching it, like a book or, a stack of something is touching the smart board, and that's making the smart board not play ball with the computer. So that's my example. One time technology didn't want to play ball was when the smart board stopped connecting to the computer. How about you? I bet you've got lots of examples you can think of when technology didn't want to play ball, just wasn't cooperating with you. Okay, let's go back to that example where we used all of the idioms, and we'll just talk it through and hopefully it will make more sense. Okay, so going back to the beginning. At first, it seemed the hackers had accessed things such as client credit card information. Initially, the IT team and management didn't see eye to eye on what to do. So, the hackers have entered into the system, and the IT team and the management didn't see eye to eye. They can't agree. So, they didn't see eye to eye or can't agree on what to do about the cybersecurity breach. Soon, though, they managed to get on the same page. So, soon they managed to agree and formed a unified response plan. All employees pitched in, so everybody worked equally to support the IT team, each person eager to do their bit to help, so to contribute during the crisis. While IT experts worked hard, other team members also pulled their weight, so also worked very hard and contributed by communicating with clients and maintaining business operations smoothly. Okay, so the first paragraph, it was about the hackers broke in, everyone's worried. First, nobody agreed, but then they all came up with a plan. The second paragraph is saying everybody contributed and worked really hard to support the IT team figuring it out. Third paragraph, the IT team discovered the breach. So that was, remember, a break into the boundaries. The breach hadn't been as bad as they'd initially thought. However, they installed many new security systems as a precaution. At first, they couldn't get the new systems to play ball, to work, to connect or do well, so to play ball with the old ones. But eventually they figured it out and calm was restored. So they're saying in the third paragraph, it is saying that the IT specialists fixed it, but it took a while because the new systems were not playing ball with the old systems. The new ones were not getting along with the old ones. Okay, reminder, you have the slides to go back and look at the idioms and this example of all of them being used, and you can read through that at your own pace. But hopefully, the second time that we read through it, it made a little bit more sense. Let's move on and do a very quick quiz. I'd love if you are live or on the replay. Either way, if you want to put your answer in as you are listening, that would be amazing. Play along. But just have a think. What do you think the answer would be? So question 1, what does it mean to pitch in to complete something? Does it mean to avoid responsibility, to contribute, or to lead the project? Question 2, what does it mean to pull one's weight at work? To slack off, to plan tasks, or to contribute equally? Okay, slacking off is very, very informal, and it means not working well. If you were slacking off, you are not doing the minimum responsibility that you should do. Okay, have a think about those two questions. What would you pick for the answer? Okay, number one, what does it mean to pitch in? It means to contribute. What does it mean to pull your weight? It means the same thing pretty much, to contribute equally, to do a sufficient amount. Okay, it just remains for me to remind you that at the end of the slides, there is a listening task where you can click on the audio and listen. And as you listen, write down what you hear and go through the process of listening and writing down until you think you've got it all. And then check on the transcript, did you get it? I'm going to read out the transcript. But you can go back and do the exercise, and there's one for each day. So even though I'm reading it out, I wouldn't imagine that we would remember it word for word, unless you've got a photographic memory. So I think it's probably okay to read it out and to just go through the vocabulary and just talk about it briefly. So this is a dialogue between three people. Is it three people? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people? Oh, I don't know. It's several people. It's a team of people. Okay, and they're a bit worried about being short-staffed. To be short-staffed means that there are fewer workers than usual. Some people are off sick. Okay, so John says, we're a bit short-staffed today. How should we get through these orders? And then they all start talking about how they can do it. So Sally says, I can organize the items for packing. Jane says, leave it to me to start boxing them up. To box something up means to put items in the box and to put the sellotape on the box and to make the box ready. Sophie says, I can print out the shipping labels, so like the address of where the stuff is going to. And then John says, brilliant. With everyone pitching in, we'll have these orders out the door in no time. To get something out the door means to get it to the post office, to get it out to the customer, to get it out the door of the company and headed on its journey to get wherever it's going. So there is that task at the end of the slides, and you have access to the slides in my free resource library, and the link will be in the description. Hope to see you tomorrow. It'll be 6 a.m. UK time, and thanks for joining today. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.